Hello everyone, and welcome to Listen to a Book Every Day. Today, we're going to dive into the human brain, why we race smarter than other species. Let us start with the book score. Question though in real life, few of us are ever asked, why are humans smartent? Instead, we're more familiar with questions like, why aren't he wash a mast? This naturally leads us to wonder, what causes differences in intelligence both between humans and between humans and other creatures. First, let's look at a pinnacle example of human intelligence. Albert Einstein. When Einstein passed away in 1955, his brain was removed and promptly vanished. Later, Thomas Harvey, the American pathologist accused of stealing it, revealed a shocking detail in an interview. He had sliced Einstein's brain into 240 pieces to study it, and carried these pieces with him everywhere. According to Harvey's data, Einstein's brain weighed approximately 1,230 grams. To put that in perspective, the average adult male's brain weighs around 1,400 grams. If we judged intelligence by weight alone, Einstein's brain was far from exceptional. So what does determine intelligence? The author of The Human Brain is a Brazilian neuroscientist with a long name, Susana Herculano Housel. Fascinated by this very question, she set out to find a scientific answer using her expertise in neuroscience. To describe Susana in one sentence, she has the face of an angel and the rigor of a seasoned researcher. If you search for her TED Talk, you will see a classic Latin American beauty with big eyes, a high nose, and flowing wavy hair. Without hearing her speak, you'd never guess she saw scientist who's hand-led countless animal brains. Notably, she was the first Brazilian woman to speak at the TED conference, a true example of someone more beautiful than you, and harder working too. To conduct her research efficiently and on a tight budget, Susana put her household skills to unexpected use. Her methods are as bold as they are resourceful. She splendid human brains into pulp with a meat grinder, sliced them into pieces with a kitchen knife, and when she got her hands on a 5-kilogram chunk of an elephant's brain, her first move was to take her 9-year-old daughter to a hardware store to buy a saw, then cut the brain into 25 slices herself. But Susana was indulging in morbid curiosity. She simply couldn't afford fancy equipment. We often say, good things come in small packages. Einstein's brain was lighter than average, but could its neuron count have been far higher than normal, making him a genius? To answer that, researchers need a way to count brain neurons, and traditional methods cost a fortune per brain. Short on cash, Susana found a workaround. She took a blender from home, mixed a mouse's brain with a lab solution, and blended it into a homogenate. By counting the cell nuclei in a small sample of this mixture, she could estimate the total number of neurons in the entire brain. Noticing the thickened solution looked like soup, she jokingly named this method the brain soup technique. Despite its casual name, the brain soup method is scientifically sound. Before it existed, counting neurons was hard because brain cells aren't evenly distributed. By turning a solid brain into a soup where nuclei float freely, Susana could count nuclei in a small sample and extrapolate the total number of cells. To isolate neurons, the key cells for intelligence, she added an antibody that only stains neuron nuclei, letting her calculate the proportion and actual number of neurons. With this method, Susana studied the brains of mice, rabbits, and monkeys, but she needed larger samples like tigers, lions, and elephants to explore the relationship between brain weight and neuron count. Through a colleague, she connected with an African foundation that cares for wildlife rescued from poachers. Some of these animals, after rehabilitation, are sent to zoos. Others are donated to scientists as research samples. Too poor to buy samples, Susana asked her colleague for a favor and received half an elephant's brain, plus an invitation to help extract it. She excitedly packed a small suitcase, flew from Brazil to Africa, extracted the brain herself, and brought half of it home. Back in Brazil, she used that hardware store saw to slice it. No expensive lab tools needed. It's important to note, all animals used in her research were legally obtained, with no animal cruelty involved, while Susanna's research involved countless animals. The human brain focus is on three questions closely tied to humanity. Is the claim that humans are the masters of all creatures true? Why are animals with much larger brains than ours less intelligent? And among primates, why did humans, not gorillas, succeed in evolution? Let's start with the first question. Is humans as masters of all creatures a valid claim? At first glance, it seems humans stand above other species thanks to some divine power in our brains. We can't run as fast as cheetahs, grow as tall as giraffes, or match elephants in size. Yet we've invented the internet, built smartphones, and spread knowledge through efficient formats like audiobooks. From this, we seem uniquely special, but to Susanna, humans are ordinary enough to be overlooked. The idea of being masters of all creatures is just human arrogance. Our brains' advanced abilities stem from uniqueness instead. As primates, we strictly follow primate evolutionary rules. In other words, while we dominate the planet, we are just ordinary beings, following evolutionary laws, with brains that evolve the same way as other primates. That said, the human brain is special compared to other primates, and three numbers explain why. 1. 7 times. Relative to non-primate animals of the same body size, the human brain is 7 times larger. Imagine if your brain were half the size of a fist, would you still feel superior? 2. 25. The human brain is an energy glutton. Though small in volume, it consumes 25% of the body's daily energy. To put it bluntly, nearly one of your 3 daily meals is for your brain. This explains why skipping meals to lose weight makes you dizzy. Your body can end your hunger, but your brain can't. 3. 1/3. We call gorillas our close relatives, and their intelligence is impressive among animals. But a gorilla's brain is only 1/3 the size of a human, as hardly comparable in terms of cognitive potential. So why does Susanna call the human brain ordinary? This brings us to a tricky concept, the neuron scaling rule. Simply put, every animal's brain follows rules that link neuron count to brain size during evolution. More advanced species pack more neurons into the same brain volume. Less advanced ones have fewer. Note, brain weight and volume are positively correlated, so scientists use them interchangeably with similar results. Take rodents like mice. Low on the evolutionary scale, they have small brains and few neurons. Humans have up to 100 billion neurons. If we followed the rodent scaling rule, our brains would weigh over 30 kilograms, and our bodies would need to be 80 tons to support them. We'd have to float in the ocean like whales. Fortunately, as primates, a more advanced group, we've broken the more neurons equals bigger brain curse. Our cerebral cortex and cerebellum miraculously fit more neurons into a smaller space, leaving other species far behind in intelligence. So yes, our brains are superior, but we don't deserve the title of masters of all creatures. Now the second question. We have a saying in China, bigger brain equals smarter. So why are animals with larger brains less intelligent than humans? Smartness is hard to quantify. It's a surface trait rooted in cognitive ability. The higher the cognitive ability, the smarter the creature. Before Susanna, scientists agreed cognitive ability was linked to neuron count, but which part of the brain, cerebral cortex, cerebellum, or others, held the key? Susanna's experiments led her to a clear conclusion. Cognitive ability depends only on the number of neurons in the cerebral cortex. Other animals may have bigger brains, but their cerebral cortex neuron counts are no match for ours. Let's break down her research. First, she had to define cognitive ability and confirm if it equals smartness. Cognitive ability isn't unique to humans. Crows dropping stones to raise water levels, gorillas doing math in circuses, and dolphins recognizing themselves in mirrors all show it. When animals display such behaviors, we call them smart, but scientist Robert Diener wanted more than vague praise. He wanted to rank animals by intelligence, just like we rank humans with exams. Diener designed tailored experiments for different animals. After all, a banana appeals more to a gorilla than a dog. You can't he call the gorilla dumber for salivating at it? While he never settled on a smartest animal ranking, he found a crucial clue. An animal's test score correlated with its total brain weight and cerebral cortex weight. But which mattered more? Susanna turned to her brain soup method, focusing on elephant and human brains. She wanted to see if their weight difference translated to neuron count differences and thus cognitive gaps. Human brain data was easy to find. Elephant data was NT until she blended the elephant's brain into soup. Here's what she found. Humans are clearly smarter than elephants. We speak, write, and even study elephants in labs. But a human brain weighs only 1/3 of an elephant's, so total brain weight can explain cognitive ability. Elephants have 257 billion total neurons, but 98% are in their cerebellum. Their cerebral cortex has a mere 5.6 billion neurons, compared to humans' 16 billion. This proved it. Brain weight does end to matter. The number of neurons in the cerebral cortex is the key to intelligence. Now the third question. Gorillas are our primate relatives. Why did humans win the evolutionary race? Let's start with something that seems unrelated to evolution. Cooking. Chinese culture values cooking deeply. We say things like, a good cook can run a country, or win a man's heart through his stomach. This old wisdom holds surprising evolutionary truth. Without cooking, we'd still be climbing trees. Cooking made us human. Why? Unlike plants, humans can't photosynthesize. We need to eat to survive. When our early ancestors lived in forests not yet fully evolved, their top priority was finding food. Imagine waking at dawn weaponless, scrounging for wild fruits and vegetables, scarce in winter and spring, or chasing rabbits, a rare treat. Raw meat provides far less energy than cooked meat, so chasing a rabbit might burn more calories than eating it gives. This foraging was inefficient. Our ancestors spent all day looking for food, and the energy they gained barely covered basic needs. As we saw earlier, the human brain is an energy hog, needing 25% of daily intake. In early evolution, though, the brain was top priority. With limited energy, most went to bodily functions, leaving little for the brain. Fewer neurons meant less intelligence. Then humans mastered cooking. Suddenly, that rabbit roasted tasted better and provided more energy. For the same effort, we got more calories. In modern times, extra energy means weight gain, but in evolution, it was a game changer. We could divert surplus energy to the brain, letting it grow more neurons and become smarter. That intelligence let us learn farming and animal husbandry, starting agricultural civilization. In short, without an ant store who first lit a fire to cook, our brains would still be subordinate to our bodies like our gorilla relatives. No wonder we associate cooking with competence. In life it means a caring partner. At work it means a capable leader. To wrap up, the human brain reveals the secret of human superiority. A heavy brain doesn't equal intelligence. More cerebral cortex neurons do. Cooking gave us extra energy to feed our brains, letting them grow more neurons and make us smarter. Rooted in countless experiments, the book offers a rational view of humanity's place in nature. Our brains are remarkable. Our cerebral cortex has far more neurons than other species, giving us unmatched cognitive ability. But we're also ordinary, we're just primates following evolutionary rules, coexisting with other creatures, humans. Success is both an evolutionary accident and an inevitable result. That's all for today. Congratulations on finishing another book. See you next time.